What is happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to cover a lot of stocks that we've covered in the past. I mean, a lot of the swings we've had have just they've taken time. So that's what I've noticed this year in the OTC or over-the-counter markets versus last year or the big year where we had crazy volume. Is things are taking a little bit longer to progress, but the stories are still there, and we'll talk about the first one today. So, it is nice to see, there is a lot of confidence coming back into the OTC. People are letting stocks run. They are securing profits a little bit later, or they're actually trading smart. So, we've noticed a lot of, I'd say less bid dumping. We've noticed, more camaraderie. A lot of people are just kind of trading fluidly, and they're mixing it up. And that's the biggest thing now that we see is, OTC traders are also trading big boards. They're trading options. They're swinging small caps. They're doing whatever it may be. So now that liquidity can start to come back into the OTC, and now that everybody's getting a little bit more well versed, they can play it all. So they will swing their OTC. They don't need to flip it every day. Like that's just something you can't do in an illiquid market. Is flip an OTC stock every single day. So you can buy a flush, and then once it bounces, sell it. You can do that, but the meat and potatoes come from the swings. Buying a stock early at support, trimming on the way up, re-adding at support, baseline, and then letting the story unfold, because a lot of these stocks, kind of like we saw last year with CYBL, we've seen with TSNP, ATVK, is, the stock has to go through filings, and then they have a merger, and then acquisitions, and so forth, so all that takes time. But as long as it has a strong base behind it, it will grow, and it'll continually grind up. So, we talked about HIRU, a couple months ago. Said, hey, look, guys, like this thing is in teens. This is not a teen stock. They're building, they're growing. It's going to be huge. And, we'll cover it today is, it hit 80s. So if you held the entire time, I only had like 10 or 15%. So I think it was like 12% left after buying from the teens, which, of course, I wish I would have held it all, but, I play proper risk management. A lot of my income comes from trading. So, I can't just hold on for dear life forever, so I wish I would have. But, today we're going to cover a bunch. We're going to talk about ones we've covered on the channel. We're also going to talk about a few that are upcoming. Going to talk about a review that I'm doing. But, we're going to kick it off with the big GG, and let's hop into the video. Okay, so like I said, we are going to kick it off with GEGI. As we stated in the first video back when this thing was 18s, 20s, 30s, it's geggy hot in here. So slap all your stocks. I am getting so hot that I want to slap my stocks off. But it's been fun to see, and this is kind of what I talked about in the preview, is people are holding longer. We first talked about this stock, what was it, 0014, 0018, and then the 20s. And then, it's taken a while, but, you could tell by the chart, just looking at it, this thing has been grinding up. It's riding, 8MA all the way up. And then as you can see here, 010, it's now going to be its new support. It should have a little bit prior to that, but every dip this thing has had has just been eaten up, eaten alive. So, we'll talk about a little bit what they've done, but you can't say enough about this stock. But the biggest thing is, like, I can't even take the credit for this. Like, I bought in the 20s and then, trimmed on the way up and what have you. But then after I trimmed, I was like, damn, I'm buying higher. This thing is just grinding. So every time it started hitting your resistance point, to say, hey, teamwork, let's get this thing going. But a lot of the credit due, goes to like OTC chairman. Goes to Moon Market, SPAC. I think they're going to do a little interview on Spaces on Twitter with it. So, it's one thing to, ride a stock all the way up, but, this thing has a powerhouse team behind it. It's one of those stocks that said, hey, look, this has a story unfolding. They have, all these new board members. They're bringing a powerhouse team. They're going to start announcing acquisitions, mergers and so forth. So the story hasn't even started. It's starting to unfold. And I think everybody's getting excited, and every single dip is getting eaten up. But, big credit to those guys. This thing has just been absolutely crazy. 52 week after 52 week. But as you can see, it's a little hot, 84 RSI, but it is OTC, so this thing could run hot as long as it wants, as long as the volume's there. But once volume starts to die off, it could have some dips, or once news comes along. So the longer there is no news, the stronger base it could have. So I just want to point out a couple of their recent tweets. So, happy Saturday to Getty Shares. Moving forward, I'll be speaking with you directly. And that's when things kind of shifted over. I think he realized, like, hey, it's time to get active on social media. Then he said, in preparation for a merger opportunity that we have identified, GEGI will increase the number of authorized shares in the next 2 weeks. So that is smart. So he let everybody know in advance, hey, look, I have to increase the AS because we have a merger opportunity coming, and it's going to eat up a lot of restricted shares. So now everybody's anticipating it. They don't see it out of nowhere and say, oh, GEGI increased their AS, and everybody sells it. So that's awesome. Braden Jones, he's doing a good job. And then, we pull into the next one. I am grateful for the interview opportunity. We hosted on Twitter, and then he's going to pick a date and so forth. And then, as you can see, Genesis Electronics announces Casey Evans, the strategic advisor. So, it's just been awesome to watch. It's great for, the OTC market. It's great for the community to actually have a runner like this, back from, let's look back at the chart. I think it went pink around this area here, because then I had that small little gap, and then it popped down, and that's when it started getting accumulated. Then boom, boom, tweets started hitting, and then it hit 52-week highs today, broke into 014s. So I know a lot of people are just really killing it on this. Like I said, unfortunately, I trimmed on the way up. Still have some, but I totally support this play. I love it, and I think it's great for our community. So I just wanted to give this one a huge shout out. It is important that this one does well, because as it does well, it brings that, like I said previously, that confidence back, the camaraderie, everybody's having fun, slapping stocks, trading and so forth. So going to cover that one first, and then the next one we're getting into is TXTM. So this one, it kind of reminds me of like IGEX, where not so much, but it has a strong shareholder base behind it. So with TXTM, it's just fun to trade. I love this thing so much because just the shareholders, the tribe, the CEO, the doctors, everything they're doing, it's cool to see, and they're confident. But, they did have a note conversion of, was it like 390 million shares? David Lewis, maybe 400, could have been a little bit more. So it has been dying off, and it went into the 20s. And I told myself, I was like, look, I was buying 30s. I'm going 20s. Like, this is going to open up one day. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. And that's like a lot of your stocks, especially in OTC markets, is they will have their day. So, if you have conviction in that stock, don't sell it to chase something off. We've talked about that in the how-to videos, and, proper risk management and proper sizing. If it's something that you're going to go long on, that's going to take a while to develop, you want to pepper it. You want to, buy some. Then every time you have a runner, small caps, options, OTC, you throw some profits at it, little by little, and then you just continually increase that position. And as that grows, portfolio will grow, because once it does fly off the rails, like it did today, it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. So, really excited about that. And what really caused it is, here, let's see, we put in here, kind of behind the scenes, no one understands the work that takes place behind the scenes, but, it's safe to say we don't sleep. So they did recently go pink limited, and, they tweeted today stating, let's go to Thailand. TXM Q2 filing post overseas markets anticipate to be back to current status shortly. So they will be back to pink current very soon, and they have announced 2 acquisitions that are coming up. So, as long as they get pink current and they start hitting those acquisitions, this thing is going to fly. And let me see if I can pull up right here. Okay, so TXM looks like Dylan was 100% correct when he said no dilution. 391 million shares were given to David Lewis, so forth. So, they have had some conversions, but, that now that those are over, we can kind of move forward, or at least we think they're over. I think there was a T-trade today. But, we're getting there. It's getting close. But once those acquisitions come, there's a lot of hype behind this. It's very fun to trade. Looking at the charts, bam, bam, and then here we go, busting through. So 004, and then we touched into 5s today, back from when it was 20s yesterday, and then close to 006. So fun times ahead. Love this one. Let's see it keep grinding. Next one is HIRU. So, talked about this earlier. This thing has been a monster, but it's one of those ones that's kind of like, it reminds me of like your 401k. Like, you had an opportunity to buy it in teens, 20s, 30s, and while it won't, triple up overnight, it does continuously grow. And it has done that exactly. But this thing is awesome. Like, this is probably one of the most legit companies in OTC with what they are doing. Accumulation, solid. Volume, down. But it's still riding that 8MA all the way up on low volume. So it's looking great. Next line of support 0065. And then, if it does, it breaks into fives. But, with what they have coming, we're filling new orders, share cancellation. Oh, we're going to have an ad on TV. And then, share structure updated. Just purchased 2 pallets of machines, because they're getting ready for Walmart. And then here we go, Alkaline 88, Shack Pack time. Moving on to shipping out more Alkaline 88 product and display cases, going to HEB, Kroger, and Walmart. And then they also have their deal with Walmart, so they're going to be filling their PO. And then, it's awesome. So, if Shaq gets involved, I know he's been with Alkaline 88, which they do bottle work for. But once they start announcing, Walmart's purchase orders, and then, they do expand into more acquisitions, more areas, this thing could really break into a penny and just continuously go. Because I know a lot of people love this stock. And, while the volume hasn't always been there, it's still grinding. It's slow, but it's moving. So just wanted to share that one with you. It is September. They said Walmart POs will start launching in September. So, heading into tomorrow throughout the rest of the month, look for this one to continuously climb. But definitely check those support lines. So the next one today is ILST. So this is kind of like one of those, I don't want to say a cult stock, but people have been holding it a year, and they were very disappointed, with do right so. They anticipated this huge merger, and that's the issue with a lot of people that will put DD out without confirmation, as that kind of gets in everybody's head saying, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. But, there's a big opportunity with this one. So as you can see, once they did announce the merger, gap down, sold off, just completely crushed into 002 range. It's a pretty good share structure. It's like 2 billion, OS, so it's decent for 002. And then today, I didn't even know they had a Twitter. I had no idea, so I haven't been following it. I was like, oh, it sold off because of this. They put out here, please see our PR. Thank you for your patience. And I know a lot of people were unhappy. But if I would have known this thing was a 002, I would have bought it, lower. But I still think it's a great entry here, because they said, we have received many of your questions and concerns. We plan to release a letter from the CEO in the coming days. So we should see a shareholder letter. If they can provide a roadmap and what their plans are. I mean, this thing, kind of like, GEGI or HIRU, it could be a grinder. If they say, hey, we're planning on 3 more acquisitions this year, 5 more, 10 more, who knows? We have tons of mergers in the works. This thing's going to fly. So, of course, it's speculative at this point, but, just looking at the chart, like, look where it traded for forever. And then now it's back down here at 002. I think it closed up 0026, 27. Steal. I couldn't even believe the stock was down here, but it had a lot of unhappy shareholders, and just the whole thing had a lot of bad sentiment behind it. But like I said, it's an opportunity for others, because now shareholder letters coming, they're going to start becoming active on Twitter. So could be a grinder. Fun times ahead. So the next one I'm going to talk about is, I don't like playing trips, because I'm just not good at trips. Like, I just, the whole, like, T3, T4, and then it's like, when do you sell? And it's like, oh, I missed my opportunity, so now my only option is to hold or, sell one tick lower. And I've never really been good at that, so it's not one of my strengths. I like Catalyst, I like DD, and, I do like charts, but, when they're coding like this, for me, it's kind of like, but, you can look at the MACD and the voluming. It'll kind of show you. And then this is where level 2 is really important. Look at level 2. You see level 2, and you can kind of see where the shares are starting to dwindle down, T3, T4. But this thing has just been going onto the radar because they issued a PR a while ago. And as you can see, expected to close September 20th. So it's a thick share structure. It's thick, plug in your Donald Trump, but it's like 15 bill. But it's like trip 3 right now, 003, 002, whatever. But they put here is a provider B2B internet marketing analysis. The acquisition announced the letter of 10th and April 12th. The acquisition is expected to close September 20th, pending employment agreements, defined milestones, and so forth. We are thrilled to be in a prime position in the industry as emergence of chief executive said electric built further expands our expertise in operations and electric vehicles. We're thrilled. Just write out that part. So basically, it's like electric vans. So they're doing EV vans merger through electric built, including Electrogistics and so forth, and affiliated companies. So this could be a good one. So because it is 3 weeks away, look for it to climb. But it had 5 times the volume today. It normally has 20 million volume, but today it had over 100. So definitely look for this one to possibly climb up. Leading into that date. We've seen CZNI recently and several others that are around that same share structure break out of trips. So being down here at 0003 could be a good opportunity. So keep an eye on that one. And then, before we close out, I'm going to talk about 2 that I'm going to be doing the next 2 videos on. So one is NTRR. So I'm going to post it here. They were kind enough to send me a few of their products. I said, hey, send me a couple of your products, just like I did the energy drink. I have no problem, doing a review, letting you know, what I think. So I'll post it here. I got some stuff, got some gummies, some pain cream, and so forth. So that I think over the weekend, I will actually just be doing a review on their product. We'll talk about the company. We'll talk about the chart, what they're accomplishing, what they want to accomplish in the future, because, as you see here, besides the racing, and once the controller, okay, let's skip to that. New sales staff on roll. I added 3 more this week. But this one down here, NTRR, 150 plus retail locations in 17 states and growing. So they're growing fast. And, I'm going to test out their product and let you guys know how it is. And I'm really excited about that because, it's fun. Why not? So definitely going to have a video on that for the review coming up soon. And the next one, so this is kind of like my sleeper. Everybody's got that one stock that nobody's really talking about. This is it. This thing I'm doing a singular video on, and it's NUGN, Nugen as I call it. And, it's made several runs into 20, into 17 range, and now it's, humming around 10. So as you can see, the most recent MAs down here, it's got a good sport 8, 9. So, I'm definitely bidding around that 9 area because it's only wicked down there a few times recently. But, accumulation's good. Not too much as way of volume, but I watched level 2 all day today, and there's some big buys that are happening, big bids too. But like I said, I'm going to cover the DD on this video or this stock because they have it's mind blowing. And the good share structure, the chart's primed. Like, I think this thing is going to explode. They have Boxus IPO coming, so where they're going to do a sub off that. They have movies. I mean, like Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman. I'll have to go back and check all the names, so don't quote me on that. But this doesn't remind me of an OTC stock. This reminds me of something that in their plan and vision can be bigger. And like I said, I'll show you that because one of their recent tweets said we will not have a reverse split on our way to NASDAQ. It's going to be a big one. So like I said, look into this company. I'm going to be adding around 10 cents, under if I can. But I plan to accumulate a fair amount because I think this one's going to explode soon. So look into the company, look into their Twitter, look into their, their latest PRs and so forth. But that's all I have for you guys today. So, make sure you like the video, shoot me a comment how your trading's going this year, what you're playing. If you love Yegi, you love TXTM, the Tribe, it's just, we're having fun. If you're not having fun, you need to do something else. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you later.